Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. Now for today's video, we've got a super exciting one for you. It's a micro cap based here in Canada, focused on lithium exploration. The name is Lodestar Battery Metals, and I'm really excited about this one for a number of reasons we're gonna lay out in today's presentation. Now before we get into it, please take a second, hit the like button, you guys. It's a big help to myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to join. And let me know in the comment section below if you're currently holding shares of Lodestar, what you've heard about this company previously, and how you think they stack up to some of the other players in the lithium sector. Now with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Lodestar Battery Metals Corp. Trades on the Toronto Venture Exchange under the ticker symbol LSTR. Now this one's super interesting. As you can see, very low share price. We're sitting at 5 cents Canadian right now. I have a 6-month graph pulled up on the screen. You can see this one was trading in excess of 12 cents per share back towards the mid to end of January of this year. Since then, they have pulled back a little bit, and I definitely think this is presenting a very compelling buying opportunity. As you can see on Yahoo Finance here, the market cap on this one is sitting just shy of about $2.5 million Canadian, which interestingly enough is essentially the amount of money that this company has in their cash reserve. Not to mention they've got a massive silver deposit or asset located in Mexico, and as we're going to focus on in today's presentation, a very promising lithium property located here in Canada in the province of Manitoba. And as we've discussed on this channel recently, we're starting to see a ton of appetite from the investment community for lithium focused companies. And I definitely think that Lodestar Battery is one that you're going to want to throw on your watch list and keep a close eye on in the next couple of months. Now, if we jump over to the corporate website, I'll leave a link in the video description below, lodestarbatterymetals.ca, again, based here in Canada. You can see they trade on the venture, as mentioned, under the ticker LSTR, and on the OTC in the United States. Slightly lower share price, obviously there, 4 cents US, under the ticker symbol SVTNF. So you do have that exposure to the US markets as well. Lodestar is a Canadian company focused on the exploration and development of quality lithium projects. The company holds 100% interest in the Peny Property. Again, that's the one located here in Canada in the province of Manitoba. You can see in the Snow Lake district. And the company also holds 2 silver assets in Mexico, as I mentioned. However, in today's presentation, we're really going to drill in on this Snow Lake property here in Canada because of that focus on lithium and the excitement we're seeing in the battery metals space. So with that being said, that's a perfect segue to this slide here, which gives a great summary of each one of these properties. Again, we'll refer back to these as we move through the investor presentation. But it's important to note, you guys, this Peny property historically has seen little exploration in this area, and there's never been a focus on lithium pegmatite or lithium pegmatite exploration at this spot. And that's exactly what Lodestar Battery Metals intends to do at this location. So they're refocusing the project for exploration of lithium, as you can see here, within the current property boundary. And their initial or reconnaissance field exploration program consisted of prospecting and geochemical surveys. That was actually completed in the 3rd quarter of last year. And they're planning to continue to push forward the exploration at this site into 2023. And you can see they then go on to give details about their silver assets in Mexico here. Very promising results at both of these locations. And again, really just icing on the cake for anyone who's looking to make a potential investment in Lodestar. Now, if we jump into the investor presentation, this is where it gets really exciting for me. So if we look at the investment thesis or highlights, they really break it down into 5 key pillars here. So number 1 is that focus on core EV or electric vehicle battery metal growth. So really predominantly lithium in the case of Lodestar Battery Metals. They've got a diversified exploration portfolio, 1 lithium property here in Snow Lake, which we just looked at, and 100% interest in those 2 silver properties in Mexico that were on the last slide. And over the last 3 years, this Snow Lake district has raised in excess of $50 million from the exploration and investment community. And as we've talked about in previous videos, the Canadian political landscape is very favorable towards mining and exploration-based companies, particularly EV-focused or clean energy companies like Lodestar Battery. Now, in addition to that, they've got a seasoned management team with a proven track record in the capital markets, which is extremely important. Those existing connections and relationships are already in place. And finally, a tight capital structure with essentially the same amount of cash on hand as the company's current market cap. Now, the plan or the strategy behind this organization is number one, that clear focus on battery metal assets, which we just discussed. Further exploration of the Snow Lake, Manitoba property, which is commencing in 2023 here, and high potential to provide shareholder value, number one, based on the low share price and market cap, but secondly, based on the runway ahead of this company and the excitement from the investment community in the battery metals space. And you can see they also list the close proximity of this Peny project to the Thompson Brothers lithium deposit. So we're going to look at a map in a second here. We've talked about the importance of being in the right place at the right time and the fact that proximity matters in the exploration field. And then finally, backed by a combination of capital market executives, which we just discussed, and a leading exploration management consultation team in Manitoba. So this is a look at the Peny property here. You can see it's located in central Manitoba. There's Snow Lake on the map. It's comprised of 47 mineral claims in excess of 11,000 hectares. And again, in close proximity to the already recognized Croduck Bay Fault and the Berry Creek Fault, which are spatially associated with the pegmatite emplacement that was found at Wekusko Lake. And that's where Snow Lake Lithium, so that's a NASDAQ-traded lithium-focused exploration company, has a defined indicated resource in excess of 9 megatons at 1% lithium oxide. And you can see that Snow Lake Lithium is targeting 100,000 tons per year of 6% lithium ore concentrate for an 8 to 10 year run rate at their location. So obviously the team at Lodestar is extremely excited about this property, again, because of the close proximity to some of the other players in this region. We've talked about the fact in previous videos that about 90% of the world's lithium mining comes overseas from countries like China, Chile, and Australia. There's been a big push here in North America from both the United States and Canadian governments to bring this supply and production into North America and really secure our access to these critical battery metals for years and years to come. They also call out the fact that spodumene, which is a lithium-rich mineral and represents the most abundant lithium ore, was identified in the property just adjacent to Peny. And what's excited about these spodumene lithium deposits is the speed at which lithium carbonate can be produced or extracted. So they can actually turn this around in only 5 days between the time the ore is mined and the final product is ready for shipment. So that's a major competitive advantage. And generally, with brine-focused companies, during the evaporation process, it can take anywhere from 18 to 24 months for that full process to occur. And that's really a key difference between these two different types of deposits. Now, earlier in the presentation, I mentioned we would look at a map. So this is the Lodestar Battery Metals property here. You can see again, 11,190 hectares. They're located just next to the foremost lithium company, Rockcliffe Metals Corp, Snow Lake Lithium, and Hudbay, which we're going to talk about again in a second here when we look at the comparables chart. But definitely worth noting that this is a major lithium hotbed right now, and a ton of companies are focused on this area and excited about the results that they're seeing. And you can see because of that, the Snow Lake District already has a number of things going for it. So established operators, which we just talked about, excellent tier 1 infrastructure, including highways, grid power, and rail access, potential for new discoveries, really focused on supplying the demand for these EV battery metals here in North America, which I just discussed, and the fact that this is an established mining district with nearly 100 years of historic and consistent mining activity in this region. Now, before we move on to those comparables, I did want to quickly call out these 2 silver projects in Mexico as well. Again, these are really icing on the cake from an investment standpoint, you guys. So these are both very exciting as well. And as you can see, just at the north location here, you're looking at about 6.2 million ounces inferred of silver. And Lodestar Battery has 100% interest in both of these significant silver assets. So again, something I wanted to call out and bring your attention to, especially if you're starting to do your own due diligence on Lodestar Battery Metals. Now they also include a development timeline in their investor presentation, so you can see they're continuing to pick up activity into 2023 here, planning their exploration in Q2, targeting heli-based geophysics in Q3 along with field exploration and historical core relogging. And by Q4, they're hoping to be in a spot where they can start data compilation and data interpretation. So a lot of catalysts on the horizon here into the back half of 2023. And to end out today's video, I wanted to spend some time on this slide here, which talks about those comparables or direct comps in the lithium exploration space. You can see Lodestar Battery Metals listed up top here with a market cap in the $2 million or $2.5 million range. This is as of May 1st of 2023. And below that, you can see Foremost Lithium Resource and Snow Lake Lithium, which we mentioned earlier in the presentation. Now, they've got market caps in the neighborhood of about $30 to $70 million. However, as you can see, all of the projects are located in the same Snow Lake, Manitoba region. They've all got lithium exploration activities underway at varying different exploration stages. And then finally, the property size is listed on the right here. You can see 27,000 acres for Lodestar Battery, 43,000 for Foremost Lithium, and about 55,000 acres for Snow Lake Lithium. So when you start to look at the numbers here and you run these ratios, you guys, the fact that Lodestar Battery Metals market cap is in that $2 million range is extremely compelling and definitely something that got me excited as I looked through this investor deck. So with that being said, you guys, I'd be super curious to hear your thoughts about Lodestar in the comment section below. Are you currently holding shares? Have you heard of this company before? And how do you think they stack up to some of these other lithium exploration plays here in Canada? If you're still watching the video at this point in time, hopefully you found some value. So make sure you hit the like button. And if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, McNallie Money, feel free to join. We'd love to have you as part of the community. Now, with that being said, that's all for today. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next update.